Hello and welcome to RMI's Advantage 365 video training series. Today we're going to discuss the different parts of an order that you can customize and how to do it. Almost every part of the Advantage 365 system can be customized, so be sure to watch our other customization videos to learn how to make Advantage 365 as effective for you as possible. Please note that if you use the web version of our software, you would still need to come into the desktop client, which is what I'm working in now, to make your changes. Customizations can only be done in the desktop client, but will be reflected in the web version immediately should you choose to use that version. So to start, let's go to an order. I'm going to open up a rental order. This is a pretty simple order. We have an oxygen concentrator rental with a power cord and a delivery charge. If I want to customize anything on this page, I'd go to the little blue tab with an arrow in the upper left corner and select Customize. The first option you see is Fact Box pane. That's this gray column of boxes on the right. If you don't find the information in them useful in your day-to-day job, then you can uncheck it to remove that column. And similarly, you can go into Customize and recheck it to put it back. The next option we see under Customize is Limit Totals To. This isn't really relevant when you're on an order because it gives you additional filters with which to filter a list. Since we're not in a list view, we're just going to skip this. Next is Customize Ribbon. Remember, I'll click out of this, the ribbon is what we call these options across the top of your screen. There are multiple tabs in the ribbon: Home, Action, Navigate. So let's go back to our Customize window and say Customize Ribbon. So here you see a breakdown of what I currently have in the ribbon. Since I left the Navigate tab open in our actual ribbon, let's go to the Navigate tab here. So the left are fields that I can add, and on the right is what I already have added. So see this order, shipping, posted entries that I already have? That corresponds with these little folders, I'll call them, within each tab: order, shipping, posted entries. And if I expand this, I can see statistics, card comments, dimensions, statistics, card comments, dimensions. Anything that has been added here appears in the ribbon here. Now I think I've added everything that can be added from the Navigate options, but if there were other options listed here that I didn't have showing in my Navigate tab but that I wanted to show, I would simply select it and say Add. It has grayed it out because it knows that that's already there. And if I wanted to remove something, I'd simply select it and say Remove. Now please note, just because something is listed under Navigate and Order, for example, doesn't mean that I can't add it to some other tab. We've merely made recommendations about where different things should go, but you do have the ability to add them in multiple places. Please note that you won't always be able to add things. So if I look at this Report tab, you see up in our actual ribbon, I don't have a Report tab, and that's why we don't see it here. And there's also no options for me to add anything from the Report tab. So sometimes you just won't be able to add things. If you needed something, that would be when you should contact RMI support to have them potentially make a modification to put it there or discuss other options. So let's close this and talk about customizing this page as a whole. So let's say, for example, when I'm entering this rental order or any rental order, that I have a nasty habit of forgetting to enter shipping information. So I want to move this shipping tab. If I expand it, that's going to be my ship to address. I want to move that tab so that it's above my rentals tab, so that as I'm working my way down the order after I enter the customer, I don't miss it. The next thing would be to enter shipping information. So to do this, let's go back to Customize and select Customize This Page. Notice that by selecting Customize This Page, it also gives me access to all of the same customization options we just talked about earlier. So if you had multiple customizations to make, you may just want to start here. So the sections of the actual order are called Fast Tabs. For example, this is the Rental Fast Tab, Sales Fast Tab, Shipping Fast Tab. You get it. So we're going to go to the Fast Tabs section. To move the shipping tab above the rental tab, I simply select it, say move up until it's where I want it to be, and then say OK. It's going to close the rental order, reopen it, and now my shipping tab has moved above the rental tab. And now this shipping tab will be above the rental tab on all future rental orders. Something else to be aware of is if I expand the shipping tab like I did, the system will remember that I left it expanded. So if I were to close this order and open another one at random, the shipping tab would be expanded and also in the correct spot where I just moved it to as well. So the same actually goes for columns. I'm just going to go back to that rental order that we were looking at before. Now when I say columns, I'm referring to these in the rental fast tab and the sales fast tab. Let's say I'm a salesperson and I create the orders. So I probably don't need to see invoiced through date because I just create these orders. I don't care about billing. So to hide that, I'd simply right-click in the columns, say choose columns, and I can add columns from here or remove them from what's shown. Say OK. Close the page and reopen it to activate this personalization. I'll say OK. We will close it and reopen it like it asked. And now I no longer see invoiced through date. And I can add fields in much the same way. Adding and removing columns like that is actually a type of customization that you can do in the web version of the software without having to come into the desktop client first. There's one last type of customization we're going to talk about on rental orders, and that's which fields you can see in each fast tab. Now there are 3 levels of visibility on a fast tab. Now I'm going to collapse this shipping tab so I can show you some of them. So these fields that are viewable on a collapsed bar, so this one's telling me my location, tax liable yes, and their tax area code, these are called promoted fields, the fields that are visible when a fast tab is collapsed. Next are the fields you can see in an expanded tab, like the general tab here. These are called standard fields. And finally, note at the bottom right of the general fast tab, I have a show more fields button. I'm going to select that and it's going to add additional fields. So understandably, these added fields are called additional fields. So let's go back to the customization page and see what that would look like. I'm going to customize this page. And we are still customizing the fast tabs, so I'm going to select that. And let's say I want to change something on the general tab. I would click this button to customize fast tab. And now I can see all of the fields that are on my general fast tab and all the ones that are still available to add. I'll make this a little wider so we can see them all. So you see number, sell to customer number, deal code, etc., a couple others are promoted. Sell to contact number, sell to customer name are standard, and sell to address to, etc. are additional. So these promoted ones we'll be able to see when the tab is collapsed. Standard ones will be the regularly visible fields, and the additional ones are the ones we'd be able to see if we selected that show more fields. Now to change that, you would just select it, select the drop down of importance, and change it as needed. But I'm actually going to leave it the way it is and say OK. And if I had made any changes just then, by it doing that refresh, it would have taken those changes into effect. So I do just want to collapse this to show you that number, sell to customer number, deal code, those were those promoted fields that we looked at before. And that's it for customizing fields on a rental order. Something to keep in mind before we wrap up is that because of customizations like which tabs are expanded, showing or hiding columns, changing fields, and all the others that you can make, your coworker's rental order might look different than yours despite being on the same document because customizations are user specific. And this concludes our video about customizations on an order. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to watch our other videos in the RMI Advantage 365 video training series.